The numbers are small because the company was small. Anyways, the first year in that pole barn, it was actually our first 6 months of sales, we did $750,000 in revenue with 3 employees. We didn't have a forklift. My mom would listen for the trucks, the 40-foot containers to come around the corner, and we'd call in family and friends from all over the place. So in a half a second, I'd have 20 or 30 people that would just be coming over to the house to help to get all of the goods out of the containers into the home. So it was definitely a family and a friend effort. In 2007, we moved from that facility to the back of a facility in Paw Paw, Michigan. The facility was the back part of St. Julian Winery. And the facility didn't look like this. It was actually, it was like a dungeon almost. And we went in and we do what we always do. We cleaned it up. We washed the floors. We painted them. And we basically have called that facility home since then. Later in 2007, we met up with Mr. Carmelo Anthony. I'm not sure if any of you guys know him, but he saw us at a pre-ESPN awards ceremony, and he took a liking to our orb products that I showed you in that previous slide. And he really liked our business model, and he said, how can I be a part of this? So that took a second to get worked out, because when investors start to become interested in your business, and when you need equity in order to grow your business, there's a lot of things that you have to do in order to get the company veil set up to manage such a thing. What I mean by that is, like, we were operating out of California as a C Corp, but we were operating in Michigan as an LLC. In order for an investor to come in, you have to basically create shares. So you have to build your C Corp out and things of that nature. So when they give you money, they get something in return. Took a lot of money, took a lot of work, but it happened in a short period of time, and Carmelo Anthony became one of our first investors. With his investment, we were able to grow the business from $750,000 in the pole barn to $1.9 million, and grow from 3 employees to 7 employees. Seemed like big times then. Whenever we did anything, whenever we shipped product in masses, all chaos broke out. This is an example of what that chaos looked like, and it's only grown from there. With the money that we got from Carmelo Anthony, we were able to buy additional inventory to grow the business. We were also able to acquire a company called Mophie. Mophie was a Vermont-based company that had been in business for a couple of years, and they had a lot of things that were very attractive to M-Station. What they had was they had a full line of different cases for the different iPod products, the Nano, the Classic. You remember those guys? They've been gone for a while now, but they had a whole lot of different products. They were innovative. They also sold products to Apple stores globally, which is something we didn't have and we wanted. In addition to that, they sold products to over 60 countries, whereas under the M-Station veil, we were selling products to predominantly North America and Canada. So in September of 2007, we acquired Mophie in an asset purchase, and we began developing cases, just cases, for a second. If you look to the right here, you'll see the beginning of a series of the initial products that basically put our company on the map. What happened was, remember I told you in that original business plan that Daniel showed me in 2005, he had put a battery around the shuffle, thinking someday, as technology evolved, that MP3 players would be built into phones, along with many other things, and then those devices would ultimately be starved for energy. So we made a case, the cases that you see on the right, that had batteries in them. Because when we got our iPhones, I had my first iPhone for about a day, and it lasted for about 3 hours, and I was so happy to have it, but then I became so angry because it died that I had to pick my BlackBerry back up. So I couldn't play with you guys with these little smartphones because they couldn't stay charged. They couldn't keep up with me. They couldn't keep up with me. I had to have something that would. So we developed the first Works for iPhone certified battery and called it the Mophie Juice Pack. Interesting times came after we did that. Apple called. That was an interesting day. I can remember exactly where I was and said, "What are you guys doing? Stop." We were like, "Oh my gosh, we just pissed Apple off. That's not good." And Apple called back 2 weeks later, and they said, "Okay, we've all talked about this internally, and we're not offended by it. And we're going to help you develop the first Works for iPhone certified battery." And that was a really happy day. We had previously been taking back orders for the juice pack before we got that call from Apple. And so we knew what we had. And so the call was really scary, but we were really happy that they came around. Anyways, looking at the growth of the company, keep in mind that when we released the first Works for iPhone certified battery into the marketplace for Apple, it was at the end of the first generation Apple launch into the market. As you guys probably know, all of the Apple products come and they're out for a year or two, and then another generation comes out, and they're completely different, form factor different, features are different, whatnot. Anyways, so if you look at the company's growth, the company went from $750 million in 1 year to 1.9 to 2.7 after the juice pack was released. So pretty much doubling year after year from 3 to 7 to 8 employees. Well, wait till you see what happens next. I threw in some photos just so you guys could see the chaos. Everything that we did was very organic. I mean, we've grown this business pretty much. We make everything ourselves. Anyway, so Apple came to us after they saw the success of the first Works for iPhone certified battery, and if you recall from those previous photos, it didn't have a top, and they said, you guys really have something interesting going on here. Let's work together and let's design it so it provides a 360-degree protection for the iPhone, and let's launch it into Apple stores globally. Well, folks, the SKU on the right became the #1 selling SKU in Apple stores, outselling $10 screen shields for over a year. Now let's look at the growth. The company jumped from 2.7 to 16 million in sales. And we were just getting the party started.